What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are back, man. Episode 16 of the It's Been a Minute podcast. On location this time. Y'all know me. Y'all know my face, Trevor Augustus, and my partner in crime. Sitting to my right this time, actually, Angus AJ Johnson. What's up, man?
What's up? Applejack's in the building once again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
Live too this time.
Live
Together, not
together,
virtual.
not virtual at all, bro.
I promise one of us lives here.
We didn't steal this house, guys. Allegedly, we didn't.
Man, so a lot has happened this week.
Yes, sir.
Highly anticipated May 15th, Iceman dropping. And not only did he drop, but he delivered with 40 songs, 3 albums, Iceman, Habiti, and Maid of Honor. If I pronounced the second song wrong, that's not my fault. He did not give us an enunciation on that. But man, as we kind of just been going back and forth on it and we got to listen to it last night. What was like your first thought on your first listen to at least Iceman? Like, did you do like a speaker out loud or did you do through the earbuds?
So I used my Beats earbuds, my Bluetooth, and I use my the white ones, the Apple earbuds.
Okay, cool. So pretty good listen. Pretty good listen.
So you get like pretty much top tier studio quality.
Okay.
My first initial thoughts, I probably wasn't as hot about this album as probably I think you are, obviously.
Ice, ice.
Ice, ice, ice. I think after all, like the year and a half, 2 years that we had to wait for this, that he announced that it was going to be Iceman. I kind of feel like this is a bit disappointing for what we got, and we're not even talking about Habidi and Maid of Honor. I think that out the gate, if I had to give it a ranking right now out of 10, I give it a solid 6.5. Um, I think that there are some things that I didn't necessarily want from him that he ended up doing anyway. Like, and we've talked about this off camera. We should have had the camera rolling. Like, there's just certain things of like, I just feel like after a while, listen, I'll say this. I hope he got all his frustrations out. I hope he aired all his grievances. Because at this point, I'm tired of hearing about it.
So he
like on both
So
sides.
he's not able to mention any of his like
I'm not saying
ongoing
that.
beefs and the
I'm
ongoing conversations and disagreements he has with people. Something he already has been made
ongoing with
famous
who?
on
Ongoing with who?
with everybody in the whole industry.
Who was Ross? Who's taking Ross
It's not necessarily
seriously?
Ross. It's a lot more people than just Ross
Who?
and K
ASAP
Dot.
Rocky? ASAP Rocky raising his son at home or whatever. The Weeknd's in Canada doing whatever he's
So
doing.
like everybody else is allowed to take jabs at him, but the moment that he like talks about it, it's a problem.
I'm not saying that at all. But why didn't you do this in 2024?
It's because he was trying to handle one person.
So
And then
this,
not to mention, but like K Dot dropped like 2 songs every time he dropped a song. In the middle of him being on a worldwide tour.
what do you mean? You talking about
It's
like
all
that?
a blur.
You
It's all
talking
a
about
blur. He literally just got off that tour with J. Cole. He was in the middle of a tour during that battle.
he could have not responded.
Y'all wouldn't let him. Y'all literally would not let him.
They've been taking shots at each
This
other
is the
for
thing.
years.
This is
Okay, all right, yeah.
So he's been taking shots at, or they've been taking shots at each other for years. So it's mutual. It's not Drake just throwing coins in a fountain.
It's not Kendrick.
It's two people throwing rocks at
it's
each
not
other.
just Kendrick shooting shots. It's both of them.
It's exactly. So it is a mutual thing. It is a mutual thing that they've both been throwing shots at each other. Let's just put that on the table.
Yes, we know. Yeah,
And
we
so
all
now
know
that everyone else is throwing shots at Drake, Drake is supposed to just be like, okay, I'm only gonna answer him because he's the only one that everybody wants
he's
to see
the
me
only
talk
one
to.
he's the only one that you actually had a problem with.
Now you have a problem with everybody else that decided to jump in when Kendrick had used like that to literally diss him. When nobody else dissed Drake at that point. It was until Kendrick came on Future song with Metro Boomin and didn't like that. Everybody was like, okay, let me jump on this little bandwagon here too as well, and also try to throw shots at him. So now, not only do I, that was what the slap in the face was. That's why What Did I Miss came. That's literally what Did I Miss is for. It's like, what did I miss? Like, yes, I know I had a problem with that one, man. But what about all of you guys? I have a problem with all of you guys. All these people that I literally aided. What he said, I've been aiding Ross with streams before aiding Ross with stream. Like all these people that he's helped become number one. And I remember during that time, all those artists that literally threw a slap at Drake's face, or not all of them, but Khaled, Ross, I think ASAP Rocky, Future, a lot of those artists
I
that
think
have problems with him, if you look at their statistics, the only time they touch number one is because Drake was on the song.
I think that there was personal issues that we did not know about.
Okay,
Now,
but that's them. We talking about the music. That's the only thing that we could really get to judge off of.
yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think that's the problem. A lot of people like to put themselves in other people's personal businesses, and they like to inflict their opinion or decide their opinion based on how they feel about that particular. Like, nah, that's them. I'm talking about the music.
I'm
Music itself.
yeah,
When,
exactly.
as far as people taking jabs at each other, if it's mutual, then why is it a
And you
problem
talking
if
about
Drake
they you
responds?
talking about they wouldn't let him. That's the same thing J. Cole just said a few months ago. Oh, they wouldn't have wanted to hear the fall off. Yeah, we would.
No, I'm glad he waited.
No, no, listen, we would have waited. We would have
You
wanted to
know
hear the
what it
fall
is?
off.
You got to understand it's not just like us that listens to music. Like, of course, I would have wanted to hear it. Yes, of course, especially where the state of music was at that time. Yes, I definitely need to hear the fall off. But as far as like, do I also want this music when it's dropped to be appreciated in whole so that it's able to get the legs that it needs to continue to run from once when it's actually a drop? Then yeah, I still want the whole culture itself to support it. So it needs to kind of take its time. Like if Drake would have came out with Iceman in 2024, I promise you right now, it wouldn't have got the publicity, or not necessarily publicity, but it wouldn't have got essentially like the likeness is getting now. Would have got more disdain than likeness. It's because people were such like to hate Drake at that time. It was like a that's how you can get your YouTube channel to come up. You can get your followers up if you just drop a video about you not liking Drake too. Like that's all it was. Everyone jumped on that bandwagon of not wanting to like Drake all of a sudden.
I think
And
the
it came
people.
out of
I
nowhere.
don't think it just came out of nowhere. I think there were already people who didn't like him.
Then why didn't they make content about it? Why did they wait for someone else? Just
I've
like
saw
all those
listen,
other rappers.
I've seen
That's the
content.
whole point of What Did I Miss?
I've
It's
seen content way before the beef about how people didn't like Drake.
no, I've seen content before the beef of people starting to kind of like, okay, like, you know,
I think the people that those made those videos are already on. They already didn't
like
necessarily
her
like
loss.
it.
And when he dropped, honestly, never mind. That's what hurt him because people were kind of like they were waiting to hear something really, really good. They got the tech,
Especially,
yeah, and they got the techno, and all of a sudden everybody was like, okay, what is this?
especially coming off of Certified Lover Boy, which people didn't really like.
And Certified Lover Boy really kind of aged well. I ain't gonna lie, people need to go back to the album. Certified Lover Boy's aged just as well as Scorpion did. That album was really is fire. All of his music kind of ages to a certain point, and it's especially moments like this where he's been in what this is his third or fourth beef, where that's why his stuff kind of ages well because a lot of his music is toxic disagreements and fallouts with people and where people see him and where they want him to be essentially he never will actually go, he always ends up on top. So that's why his music ends up aging well because he always finds himself in another beef, and we'll be able to look at the music he makes now
Don't you
in a couple of years and be like, all right, he's gonna do it again, or
listen?
his music aged well again.
Don't you think that? And listen, we don't know the ins and outs of everything because we're not in these people's lives.
Yeah, of course.
But don't you think that like it's not necessarily a coincidence when you got all these people that have some kind of issue with you, and I don't know like what internally what those issues are.
Yeah.
But after a while, you're gonna kind of maybe start looking at yourself like maybe I'm the problem.
Well, can I tell you something?
Okay.
All the crabs at the bottom of the barrel are mad at the crab at the top. They're all trying to pull him down. Not one of them is like, oh, not one of those crabs looks up at that crab at the top and is like, oh, I'm happy
Well,
he's up there.
what will
No,
some
like
of
they
those people
all trying
gain?
to pull him down.
What will some of those people gain? Like, what will Ross gain from dragging him down? Ross has already had his time.
I
The
mean,
weekend's
they've
already had
all
his time.
a lot of them. thought they would have gained exactly what a lot of hip hop artists gained from winning a rap beef or calling someone out. Publicity, album rollout, just attention in any type of way. No one was paying attention to Abel at that time. No
Oh,
one was
that's
paying
that's a
attention
lie.
to ASAP Rocky.
A$AP Rocky wasn't really making music.
Abel at that time, I think he was producing a movie and he acted awful in it. Like
He did. That was
it was
that was
awful.
horrible.
Like, he was not like nobody was worried about you, boo boo. Like, come on. Like
But he was already planning to make his last album though,
I
so I
get it, and
don't
that
think
last
that
album
that
was
was.
amazing. I ain't gonna lie. That
And I
that
feel
that
like
that
what
weekend album, the last album was amazing, and it was amazing how it fully wrapped around. But I'm just saying, at that particular time when everyone decided to also speak up, it's cool because mind you too, Travis Scott says something. He said the game's about to be shook up. He said something because he had already heard it. A lot of people had already heard the track, so they had already knew that this was about to come. So people, I think, premeditated it, like knowing that Kendrick, one of the biggest artists, someone that actually has the firepower, if you will, to take down someone like Drake
yes.
in his like reign. I think that's when everyone else is like, okay, this is our chance. I'm gonna mention about that one girl he took from me. Like, oh, like, bro, come on. And that's the whole thing too about like the future thing. And I didn't understand. I'm like, I wanted people to really listen to the argument they were saying out of their mouth. They're like, oh, Drake is awful. He took one of Future's girls. Did you hear what you just said? He took
One
one
of.
of his girls. So you're mad because he didn't get to keep all of his girls, but so we're not worried about the simple fact that he just has like a roster of women.
Conversely, so you're more mad at LeBron, who all he did was dance to a song, versus somebody who actually set up Kendrick to call you a pedophile. How much sense does that make?
What do you mean set up as in?
Like the song was Metro and Future, the album We Don't Trust You. So you're more mad at LeBron for dancing to a song because he had a friendship with Kendrick too prior to
But that's
going back years.
I'm not gonna lie, you already, especially if you're taking shots at people, you kind of already expect certain things for certain people. Like this is the thing. If you openly have a relationship where other people, or let's just forget about other people, if you openly have a relationship with someone where you guys both know that you have knowledge of each other not liking each other,
Yeah,
like you have let it known to that person that you have a problem with him, and that person has let it known that he has a problem with you. It doesn't surprise you when they come out and do something in a negative connotation or way that's towards you. It doesn't surprise you at all. But when your brother has partakes in that, when your brother partakes, like essentially, Future played the role of Judas Iscariot. You know what I mean? He literally partook in that as his brother. So it's like,
but you're making my point though. So you're, but and then okay, if that's the case, then he just made he's on his album now.
what do you mean?
He's on
That's
Iceman.
because they were able to. Yeah, I know that. And that's because they were able to reconcile because it wasn't that big of a deal. Because what I just said, it was one of his girls. He is a man thought. He
They
has
all
a
are.
roster of women,
They all
and
are.
they
Yeah.
all literally sit there and exchange women in this world evil proclivity of a industry. It's like,
Oh, but proclivity, that's a big
yeah,
word.
hey,
Hey, that's a
they
big word.
they
Oh,
doing a lot of crazy stuff over there, and they like to switch back
Kendrick
and
said
forth
it's a
with the
weird.
women and stuff
Kendrick
like
said
that.
it's a weird stuff going on.
It is, but it's not pedophilia. Like, let's be honest. You know,
Child trafficking is almost the same thing.
that, and that's the thing. At the height of Diddy being arrested at that time, you're able to use breadcrumbs like that and throw that on a big artist who is known to party
Also,
with a lot of different women and not be married down.
yeah, you
So it's
also
like,
hugging a 17-year-old on the stage talking about how she looked too. That doesn't help either. And for all the people listening too, I don't care what the age of consent was in whatever state that they were in, because I've seen that argument too. Oh well, if the age of consent in this place,
this is one of those.
used to defend this.
No, I've seen that video, and to me personally, unless I actually, because wasn't it the girl that plays in Stranger Things?
No, it's a completely different situation.
That was okay. That particular situation, maybe
That's
then I'm
weird
not gonna
too.
speak. Then I'm not gonna speak on that one because I don't really know too much about that situation. But at the same time, all I will say is that there's nonstop YouTube lawyers and armchair detectives that will go around and take a picture and post a story, and then at the same time they will make it as news and everybody will report on it. So it's like
What you mean?
like what you're saying.
No, there's a
I'm not saying that's what that is, but I'm just saying until I see an actual real story like that, I'm not really gonna take that as like
I think the people that are actually calling him a pedo are just like stands. The same people that are actually calling Kendrick a wife beater. But I
yeah.
think, listen? Do I think that Drake has some weird behavior
But does Kendrick have a record of domestic violence?
no?
How do you know?
Is there's no breadcrumbs? What's that word again?
Can you look it up?
Okay. Does Drake?
I actually
Does
don't know. I'm just saying, because I mean, public record's public record. So I'm just saying, is that breadcrumb available for him to put out? Like, did people actually go through the effort of trying to prove whether Drake's disses could have breadcrumbs there?
I think
That's it,
people did because
or
there's
did
social
people just
because there's social media sleuths everywhere, like on both sides. Those are
not when the algorithm? Yes, you're right, but when the algorithm is mostly pushing the ones that are towards or are for Kendrick and against Drake, you don't ever see that, and that's where we were talking about earlier off camera, where all you have to do is ruin someone's public image. That's all you do. Nothing has to be true anymore. That's like the Jonathan Major story was the biggest example of that, or even Shannon Sharp. I mean,
yeah, but Shannon actually did that though,
Shannon,
which she was legal, but that's still weird.
listen, I think,
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying it's still weird.
I mean, it's weird, but is it illegal?
It's not, but
Exactly.
in the
So
court of
public
public
image.
opinion,
Exactly. So that's all I'm talking about. Like, we can talk about Bill Belichick and his girlfriend all we want, but
yeah.
it's just
Listen,
like,
I'm not
if it's
disputing
legal
that.
and they're two consenting adults,
I'm
and
not
that's our
disputing
opinion.
that.
It's not in,
But like,
we're entitled to our opinion, but it has no value. But it's just like at the end of the day, what she said about him wasn't necessarily true. It was just a simple fact that it was said about him, and that itself is what.
there is enough breadcrumbs to like you hugging a 17-year-old on stage, you having conversations with Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. I'm not like, listen, I think logically, I think we
Did he
all,
ask to see their?
hmm?
I mean, did he ask to do anything crazy?
No, listen,
Is this
don't do
Dateline?
that.
Is this date?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, did he end up on
No,
Dateline? Was
nobody
he
is
trying to date
saying
them? Was he trying to take them out?
nobody is saying that he's an actual pedophile
Did he?
by the literal definition of a
Did
pedophile.
he have any video out with him and Justin Bieber looking nervous? Like, I'm just saying, bro.
You listen, you comparing apples to oranges. First of all,
Dude.
my thing is,
Bro, and this is the thing. We're over here talking about like how we said this before. No one believes this about Drake. It's just rap beef. It's just blah blah yeah yeah yeah. But now here we are going over the quote unquote breadcrumbs to be, or there are.
do we actually
And
think
what
that Tupac slept with with Biggie's wife or Biggie's girl? I'm just saying, like, it's rap beef. Do we actually like I can go back in hip hop history. It's like that scene.
that I don't really know too much about that. So I don't.
The hip hop purists saying
I'm a
like
little too
that are
young to understand too much.
they're listening to what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like if Jay Z when he said what he said about Nas and the whole the car seat thing, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, do we actually believe that that happened? Like, if you like, bro, like the literal, like if you watch any battle rap, and we were talking about how battle rap is, you can say the most craziest, outlandish thing, and it's like, oh, I can't
But
believe
you're
you
just
said
making my
that.
point though.
Yeah, but nobody actually believes it.
Okay, so why are we over here talking about Millie Bobby Brown and the other
What I'm
17-year-olds
saying is,
to
yeah,
make the situation even more true if
but
we
there
actually
are,
don't even believe it to be true in the first place?
but there also has to be things in line where people can point to and be like, yeah, I did say, it may not be true, but it could be.
I don't think so, man.
It could be.
That's crazy.
And I'm not saying, I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, that's how people look at it. That's all
And
I'm
I'm not even
saying.
saying that because I like him and I don't want him to be. I just don't think that like he's ever given anyone a reason to think that until literally someone just said it in a rap beef to make it as like a fire alarm. It's almost like Kendrick thought of the line A minor and he just based the whole song based off of that, which happens all the time. Someone will come up with one bar and all of a sudden they're able to just scheme something off
I
of that and
mean,
make a
Drake
whole
did
song.
that with Meek Mill. Like, Back to Back was trash if you really look at it, but because of social media narratives, he won the battle.
Back to back wasn't I mean, yes, I agree, like, he had, like, maybe 4 or 5 good punchlines in that song, but
You
and it
get
was
invited
based
by
off of
singing it.
yeah, it was just based on the narratives at the time that actually helped the situation, I completely
And
understand.
then
That
Drake,
was a really great time of,
that was a great
like,
time.
What a Time that was actually what What a Time to Be Alive was out. What a Time to Be Alive?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. Yeah, yeah.
That was exactly What a Time to Be Alive. That was a really the I was in high school at that time, like, I think I was maybe a sophomore in high school, which was literally to this day my favorite year of school, 10th grade, and yeah, man, that was
All I'm saying is that
Jumpman,
there's
Jumpman, Jumpman, Jumpman.
something, something. Punchline, I love punchline.
I just want a grand.
But all I'm saying is that like there's enough breadcrumbs to where you can point to a situation and be like, I'm not like, and I don't personally think he's a pedo, but there's way more evidence on Drake being a weirdo than Kendrick being a wife beater. And if you could sway the court of public opinion like that, then you got it.
Which is my whole point. It's just that and I'm glad you said that. That's literally what I'm trying to say is just that Kendrick won that based off of that changing people's public opinion of Drake. But we if we already know it not to be true and no one and everyone has essentially said,
But
yeah,
see,
we know it's not to be true and we kind of understand that like, you literally said no one thinks that when Nas said this that was true or Tupac did this. Like if we know it not to be true, but yet it still helped to win the battle, it can allow us to look at reality and move out of that and be like, okay, now it's 2 years later.
and
It's
also,
okay for because it's okay for artists to talk about the battles and the fights they went through. He literally says, I'm in complete denial." He admits that. He admits that he's in denial of losing, as he should be, as he should. I don't like to be honest in rap. I don't actually want to hear the person that lost say they lost. I want them to keep that same bravado about themselves and keep saying, "No, I'm still the best." Because at the end of the day, if you admit you lost in rap it's not humility, it's actually it's on a what do you call it? Inauthentic
yeah,
of hip hop, like we said of J. Cole taking away the mask and saying, "Oh, do I walk around here and actually really think I'm the best? No, I don't." Like that's taking the mask off. So for Drake to sit there and come out and say, "Oh, I lost, I took my L, blah blah, I should have did it," but we don't want to hear that. I want to hear him say, "I'm in full denial. I still won. It's up and it's stuck forever." I want to
he
hear
could,
him say
he
that.
could, yeah, that's
I
true.
wanna hear him say that. I
That
wanna hear him
that is,
and if he got bars that he coulda said 2 years ago, give it to us now, I don't care. I don't care.
I
And
don't
if
want
he
to hear
got
it
some
now.
more in 2028, give it to me
I don't
again.
want to hear that now
And
because I'm gonna be honest.
because
Make
remember
the
but what did you
song,
say before?
no, but hold on, the song "Make Them Remember." That should have been what the hard part six was.
Okay, I agree. We both said that. I agree. I think Dust also could have been in there. I think they're like, blow that dust off your plaques, like, I thought that definitely could have been in there as well. I But this is the thing, whether or not he wanted to do it 2 years ago, whether or not he just all of a sudden came up with it in the middle of album mode and he was writing hard and, he came up with that and he said or maybe he decided to save it for the album anyway and it just happened to come out 2 years later. Either way, I'm grateful for it because this is what we wanted anyway. Better late than never. You know what I mean?
I
It's
guess.
because this is the thing. We could have never got Drake speaking about Kendrick again. And you know what people would have said? He'll never mention that man's name again. But no, no, he's not. He's doubling down. He says you can hand thing. He says you can hold things over my head, but you still gotta stand a couple feet away. That's a bar. He's talking about the fact that which is kind of funny because if you're holding something over someone's head, you have to be a couple feet away from them to do so. But like
Yeah,
also in the fact that like for you, you can hold this over my head that you got the win, but you're still a couple feet away, which is true.
that's true. I'm
And
not
public
denying
and
that.
public opinion, yes, people right now like Kendrick over Drake more. Kind of. Who I don't really. I think it's
I think people
more.
can enjoy who they want to enjoy.
I think so too. But I think more social media would show that Kendrick is beloved more. But I think that at the end of the day, every time Drake comes out with something hot, like if you open up Instagram right now, it's nothing but Kendrick or nothing but Drake right now, and it's nothing but positivity.
I also don't want to hear like the rapper that I grew up listening to. Somebody like I don't want to hear you crying for the next 5 6 years about how you lost. Because if that's the case, if you had this bravado that you're talking about, then you wouldn't care. because you who you are, you wouldn't care that LeBron was dancing and Westbrook was dancing. You wouldn't care that DeMar DeRozan was dancing at a pop out show if that's the case.
If you wouldn't care if it's people that you never expected it from. But if I got into beef with someone and then all of a sudden I seen that person celebrating their win over my beef and you was standing right next to them, I'm like, bro, that's supposed to be my best man. No, I'm serious. Like, then that's gonna make me that would actually hurt me. That would make me say something. Then I'm gonna speak out about it and I'm gonna publicly hold you accountable through the way I know how because I'm a musical artist.
Yeah.
Not to mention, but he said it in Dust in the beginning of Dust. He said he was talking to the ladies. He said, "I dropped SSS for you guys." But he said, "But now I gotta go and answer." So it's like that's another thing people are talking about this 2 years later. No, he had an album already coming with Party that had to be placed in that place right there in 2025. That was or yeah, it was 2025. He was already gonna drop that with Party. I'm glad he kinda gave that some space away because it allowed him to also go on tour with that album as well, let that album grow. There's a lot of fire songs off of that album that are marketable, that have gone marketable and are still, like, really, like, Billboard songs to that day or to this day with that album, and I don't think people give him enough credit for it, but that literally was like a R&B based album for, um like, essentially that type of crowd, people that wanted to see that singing, R&B, rapping Drake, and, I thought it was fire. Most people thought it was fire. People that maybe wanted to see this Iceman from him at that time probably didn't like
I
it.
th- too. Yeah.
But that's the thing, Drake is not one artist. Kendrick is not gonna come out with an R&B album and tell you
But in
guys
that moment, you
look
needed to be.
no, it doesn't, because this is the thing. So what are you gonna tell, Party, "Hey, I'm sorry that we already worked on this album, worked on it for months, but I'm in the middle of a beef, so we're gonna have to shelf this." You don't tell your artist that. If you got 15 to 17 songs ready to drop that are fire right now that can keep
He
you
didn't have to
relevant,
drop it. He didn't have to drop a whole album. He could have dropped it. He dropped 100. The 100.
it
He could
was
have
a
put something
joint
on there.
album with someone.
I know, but what I'm
It's not
saying
just him,
is,
it's not his just decision on him to be like, "Let me just shelf this and so I
I'm
can
not
get this."
saying shelf it, but you have the ability that you have access to a microphone. You're Drake,
Yeah, I mean, he's been working on Iceman for a long time. He dropped "What Did I Miss" and Which One last summer. That came out last summer.
bro. J. Cole had a whole album that he dropped way before we got the follow. He dropped Might Delete later, and then he dropped the
Yeah, but
EP.
that's because J. Cole literally apologized and had the time to do so. No one wanted to put him on anything. He was dropping San Antonio. He was dropping what was another? He was dropping a bunch of
Grippy,
grippy like he was
trash.
dropping yeah, he was dropping a bunch of different singles.
Drake did Hey There Delilah or Hey There Wagwan
Yeah,
Delilah.
yeah.
So he could have took the time. You over there
And
talking
Drake
about
actually did mention a few stuff on SSS, but the thing about it is that that album wasn't meant for that. That was an album that was already pre-worked on, joint album with Party, and that was an album that we were, excuse me, we were highly anticipating because of another song that they had dropped. I forgot what it was. Something I forgot what it was. It was a song off of a previous project that he had that we were like, okay, we want a Drake and Party record, and it was essentially kind of the same thing as Jimmy Cook's going into Her Loss. It
yeah.
was a song that essentially led to them going into all of those collabs, making a joint album. So we were already gonna get that anyway. That was already gonna come, and they dropped that around Valentine Day. So it was like they were already gonna try to boost that anyway for like that time of year. That had like Drake was at that time still working on his album. So he had already the intentions of coming out with something like this, but he was still pushing SSS out. And so he addresses that and does. He said that was for the ladies. Now it's up and it's stuck. And he was like, because he got to answer this now. So now this is finally the response. So I just feel like at this point, like people will make an excuse for anything to like, oh, not accept it. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I mean, just to answer that question though, the question I originally asked, me personally, off of first listen, I listen into earbuds. Um, and I'm going to do a car listening test, but off of first listen, I gave it a 7.9 to 8.5. I think that's a really great score. From just a first initial listen, that's without letting anything replay. That's without sitting on songs and really diving deep into the lyrics and And that's the thing, people think that Drake's lyrics are so superficial, surface level, or don't have actually any double meanings or Drake has a lot of double and triple entendres. This album, I think, so far, whether you like him or not, I think it's very clear to say this is an album where he has schemed the most. Like, I've never seen Drake scheme this much. Like, man, he's a, we don't know if it's what was that bar? He says, "We're settling on ties, don't know if it's wins or not.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know what's
yeah, yeah.
suitable." Like,
Listen,
the tie
he had
wins or
bars.
not, suitable, like, "Make You Remember," which was leaked as 1 AM in Album Albany, and, that song itself had so many different schemes. I think actually that song probably is the best song on the album, along with "Make Them Cry," is because that first song when he came on, I was like, "What is this?"
That's what I wanted. Like that, like when as far as him growing as an artist and not and changing the subject matter that he's really been what made him who he is. That's what I wanted to hear more.
Yeah.
Talk about, and I don't just mean like Sandra wrote that song. Sandra wrote. I'm talking about like going deep, like actually going into your psyche. That's how you grow. Kendrick literally gave us a therapy album where he's talking about all the things that he hate, like the things that he goes through mentally and emotionally, what he went through during the
But
pandemic.
I don't want both of my favorite artists doing that at the same time, so I'm glad that
I'm not saying at the same
'cause I
time,
mean,
but
because if Kendrick's dropping the Pimp a Butterfly Untitled albums, he's also doing Big Stepper, Mr. Morale. I don't wanna see Drake and J. Cole do the same thing. Like, I like them having their own lanes. Like, I think Drake definitely capitalized at the height of, like, the club scene. I think and knowing that he can touch all different bags and all different genres and he has a lot of
but
diversity
so
in
can
his family.
Kendrick though. I
I
think
understand that, but it's just like Kendrick, like you said, what you wanted Drake to do to kinda get deeper and get into the psyche, that's cool and all, but if every single one of our favorite artists is all doing it, then it kinda just essentially shifts the whole sound of what hip hop is. Is it a great sound and something we need? Cool, but we still need a diversity.
I'm not saying like don't stray away from what brought you to the dance. I'm not saying that. But every artist goes through an evolution period. Like every rapper, like you hear the death of Slim Shady when Eminem is talking about like he made that song temporary for like when like if I were like I think what was it, like if he were to die or whatever, and he wrote it to his daughter, and
Mhm.
I think it was what's the other one with Jelly Roll that he had on there? I forgot the name of it. But it's like it's things like it's songs like that that like you want to hear from your favorite artist after a while because we've heard club scene Drake, we've heard party Drake, we've heard dance Drake for years. That's what I think, and that's what the key. Uh, that's why I think Mr. Morale was so jarring because we had never heard that type of music from him, right? So I just feel like now we're getting into a space where, as an artist, you need to be able to evolve and grow.
Okay, so I completely agree with you. So I just pulled up an album and I just remember at a certain time Drake has evolved and grown. He's grown in ways that is accepted by a lot, but not liked by a few. Okay. He tries a lot of different sounds, not everything that people like. And I think because not everything that he tries that people like, people think that he has stunted his growth. No, Drake has grown. He's tapped into other markets. He's tapped into other sounds, and he's become better and better in some sounds. And then there's certain flows that were like, okay, and he still kind of sounds like this, but it's fine because he's attempted, and that's what we want. We want our favorite artists to at least attempt growth instead of staying stationary. So there could be, oh, I don't like it, fine, but the whole thing of like he doesn't grow and that's what we've been looking for. That's a very unfair statement to make. And I'm gonna show you something really quickly. There for all the dogs, what we were waiting for. The reason why, some of it has grown on me a lot, but the reason why I didn't get a lot of the love that it got is first because we thought Drake was trying to sound like the younger crowd. We were like, we wanted him to start giving us that grown man talk, like you were
That
saying.
exactly.
And that's fine because Drake, when he does his boss talk, Drake, to me personally, I don't think there's anybody else other than Jay-Z that has good boss talk. I'm sorry, like Drake on a track when he's talking his my pasta wraps when I got my, my cheese pasta ravioli, and, we going from, airport to the basement to the like, all that stuff, and when we're talking about the jewels and, we're talking about people's collections and stuff like that, like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, Drake, wow, guys, Drake,
Pronouns, pal.
Drake Bell, no, but Drake,
Drake? He's Drake?
but Drake, when he gets into that boss talk, to me, I don't think anyone else sounds better than him than other people from the same cloth as like Jay-Z, Big Pun, like Big L, like Jadakiss, other people like that that kind of start getting into that bag talk and they start talking like that real boss talk.
I
It
think
could be a little
like
different.
T.I. is one.
Ti is another one too as well. But I just I just wanted to kind of show you one song where when Drake heard a lot of the feedback after for all the dogs when he came back with disc 2 Scary Hours, episode 3 or verse 3 or whatever. The shoe fits. In that song, if you remember, and this is the thing, I listen to Drake's music so much, I actually realize there is substance there. A lot of people listen to it to and I think it's a lot of times what people listen to Drake's music for, they don't think they can go there to get substance, and that's the
Because
problem.
he's never shown that.
No, it's because you don't listen to it enough. You're listening to it for the wrong reasons. Because and for the shoe fits, he literally talks about. He says, "I just don't know how anymore. I just don't know how." Like he's essentially talking about. He was like, people questioning his pen and why he don't know how to rap anymore. He was just like, "No, I just don't know how to smile the same because of the things that I've been through and the things that I've seen, and the things that I've experienced. I just don't know how anymore, my love. I just don't know how." So that's honestly where, you know, it comes from where, he's tried to try different things and tap into different flows and have different pens and stuff
Different
like that,
accents, I don't like, which
different
I
accents.
don't wanna hear.
And that's another thing, different accents. Some people don't mind it, some people find it annoying, some people like it. There's music for everyone. But the thing about it is Drake makes more music for everyone than any other rap artist. Yes, Kendrick can do a lot of different things. Yes, J. Cole can do a lot of different things. Yes, people like Big Sean and whoever else you consider as the biggest rappers right now. But Drake does more than any of those guys. Drake, you know what he reminds me of? Drake to me is what I consider the Jamie Foxx versus Will Smith argument.
I've never heard that argument, but go
C-
ahead.
No, it's actually a self argument.
Oh, I'm about to say I've never heard that
No,
argument.
it's
Okay.
not like a real argument, but it's like
Okay.
I always ask myself, I debate myself, and I debate with other people, who would you take for a role over Jamie Foxx or Will Smith, or who do you think is better? And if you actually put them up close to each other and you look at their discography, they play in the same movies, except for Jamie Foxx can do everything that Will Smith does, but Will Smith can't do everything that Jamie Foxx
He
does.
can't sing.
He can't sing. He can't play instruments. But and he's not nearly as funny, and he can't do a full comedy set.
Yeah.
He can't go on tour as a comedian. But Jamie Foxx also can't rap and get a Grammy. So,
Right.
we'll see what there's that difference, but and that's the thing. To me, Drake is Jamie Foxx. Drake can do anything any of those other guys can do, plus more, but he doesn't have some of the awards that someone like Kendrick has. Because at the end of the day, Kendrick, so-called Will Smith, still has the Oscar. He still has the Pulitzer, award winning
What's
pro
a
you know
prize?
what I mean? So it's like I think that and the thing about it too, if you look at it, Jamie Foxx is not nearly as looked at as talented as he is until everybody has to make the argument for it. And then it's just like and then all of a sudden it becomes apparent like, "Oh yeah, Jamie Foxx is that talented and stuff." That's who I feel like Drake is. I feel like Drake is like Jamie Foxx. He can do anything anybody else can do and more, but just doesn't have the same awards as those guys. And it's that's really what it is.
And I don't have an issue with him being like doing different, types of music. But that at its very core, when when you have people have declared you the king of hip hop or you're supposed to be this hip hop icon or this hip hop legend. Like as a hip hop purist and other people feel this way, I can't take you serious if you're doing that. And like, yeah, that's fine. Do your dance hall stuff, do all that. But
Man,
we have to put him we have to like how do we do Post Malone? How do we do somebody like that? You have to put them in a certain box. Like from a pure hip hop standpoint, you got to put them in that's the argument. I don't think anybody has ever had an issue with Drake doing what he's doing and have it not being because there is music for everybody. But I feel like if you're somebody like Drake who declares that he watches battle rap and he's hip hop this and hip hop that, you can't know. You're a pop artist, and that's fine. Be your pop artist, be that. But don't try to like come in my lane and do this. No, like you got your own lane. You doing all this other stuff. That's
Drake
my
is more
thing.
than a pop artist, man. He's an artist in general, and the thing about it is that you guys will get mad when Drake does different accents, but Michael Jackson can be a whole white woman and still be called the king of pop.
That's cr-
It's just insane, man.
that's first of all, that's not the same
That's just
thing.
no, it's not.
No, that's not
No,
the
no, it's
same thing.
not. It's not.
It's not the
He
same.
can.
That's
We know what
facial.
Michael Jackson's real voice sounds like. He don't talk like that for real.
That's different than talking in a whole accent. That's different than
Man,
just like making your voice higher.
this man had facial surgery after facial surgery after facial surgery,
That's
and he's
totally
still considered
different.
the king of pop.
That's totally different than being
That man
licensed.
put blankets over his kids and wouldn't. He didn't. He was kind of a very weird and eclectic man,
That's totally.
but he was considered the king of pop.
That's
But
totally different
Michael
than.
Jackson was weirder, and I love Michael Jackson, by the way, guys. I'm not trying to come for him. I'm just saying. I mean, if we want to talk about Prince, some dude that wore leather pants and high heel boots, like, bro,
That was
some of the
because of that
craziest
was because of
guys.
the
No,
time
but that's
period.
what I'm saying. That it doesn't matter necessarily with the time. What I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that some of the greatest people in our game, excuse me, some of the greatest people in our industry in our game, whether it doesn't matter what genre it is, but the industry of music, some of the greatest people have been weird individuals. No matter what you want to say,
That's what you
there
calling
was
it weird?
probably there was probably people at the height of Michael Jackson's career calling the kid weird. There's probably people that thought Prince was weird with the curly hair, makeup on him, and he had high heel with the boots and stuff like that. There was probably people that thought James Brown was weird, or Lionel Richie, and all these other people. Like, there's a lot of people that have their own styles and the way that they treated things and they did things. I'm pretty sure people thought it was weird too. But because without social media, there wasn't enough people's input on the matter, and you don't have control on people on how people think about certain things, and so you're able to actually think for yourself. And when you think for yourself, you're like, oh, these guys aren't that weird. They're just being themselves. So I feel like right now, because we have social media and we could be so easily influenced with so many other people's opinions to make our own argument on how we feel about something, it keeps us from actually just developing a self-thought that comes solely from us, of how we feel about the artist, about how that person makes me feel. I promise you, until the algorithm just decided to all hate on Drake all at once, and it just grew more and more and more, and a lot of it grew from the doubt coming from Honestly Nevermind, and Her Loss was a great album, but some people had to actually let that grow on them. And that was when Drake was, that was his second joint album, and it kind of was shaking people up. We were like, okay, Drake, you're kind of doing a couple joint albums. Because if you think about it, he's done three joint albums. He's done one with Future, he's done one with 21 Savage, and now he's done one with Party Next Door. Some people don't like that. And so, like, a lot of people like to then use some arguments, or use those as examples for their argument of, oh, Drake is not really hip hop. Drake is not the greatest in hip hop. Drake is not this. Drake is not
He's
that.
not.
Drake is this, and Drake is not that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know someone right now that has more pull than Aubrey Graham.
It's not about pull.
I'm not talking about pull. I I know I said the word pull, but what I mean by, like, who has the most, like, motion? Let's use that word for today's time. Who's got the most motion
All right,
right now?
boss man D'Lo.
Nobody. Hey,
This emotion
Drake.
party you can agony.
Hey, hey, shout out to 37th Street. But no, man, I don't think there's anybody that.
What do you mean motion though, bro? I'm talking about just pure like I'm talking about like the actual art form of hip hop. What are you talking about?
Let me tell you this. the songs that Kendrick and I hate to constantly put Kendrick up on it, but we're gonna do that because that's what we do on this show. Kendrick, if Kendrick has jumped on an album with anybody else, there's not a lot of times, and there's been plenty. So I don't want to jump ahead of myself. There's been plenty of times that he's jumped on a song and that artist has went off and become a big artist. Definitely for sure. But there's also been a lot of times that he's jumped on artists' songs and I've never heard from him again. Or eventually they die down. I've never seen that happen with Drake when he goes.
Block Boy J.
Okay, give you one example. But he's a producer as well, and he still makes some.
He had a hit. He had a who had a hit record, and people thought that was Drake's song, but it was his.
Who Block Boy JB?
Yeah, the "Look Alive" song.
Look alive,
I
alive.
can give you another example.
Jumbotron pop or whatever it is
What's the other? What's his name?
from Lil Yachty.
Yeah, but no, there's somebody else I'm thinking about. Um,
I mean, if you can correct me, you can correct me. Block Boy JB, you got one. But I mean, there's also a lot of artists that he's made household names.
like who? That's I'm glad you said that because who?
So Jhené Aiko, she was already a big artist at the time. However, she became more of a bigger artist after the Take Care album. Another one off the bat is Bad Bunny. Everyone knows that. That was actually when Drake started speaking Spanish and people didn't like it. But look at Bad Bunny now. And that's the thing. He took his skill set and said, I want to jump on your song because I like you as an artist and I want to do something with you and I want to do it in your tongue and do something for the people that speak your language that are fans of me as well. And everybody wants to run with it and say Drake wants to be Hispanic. It's just crazy. People don't realize like the motive sometimes behind
That's a
something.
slippery slope argument. So are you
It's
saying
not that's literally any
no?
argument
But
by
let
why
me
any artist would make
finish.
music for
No, no,
anybody.
but let me finish. That's a slippery slope argument. So you're saying that if Drake never made those songs with Bad Bunny, Bad Bunny wouldn't be the artist that he is right now.
He not as fast. That's what a cosign is.
It does.
That's like you applying for a loan. I may eventually be able to get a loan one day. But if you, someone with better credit, can cosign, I can get that money right now. That's what the cosign is for.
It doesn't
It's
matter though.
it's to bring like Jhené Aiko was already a great artist before. She had already 2 albums before that. She was a great artist.
It's like the people.
Same with Thames. Thames was already a great artist, but she wasn't a household name until Future and Drake took her song that she already made and sampled it and put it on. Now Thames is all over the freaking world. When you have certain artists that are big enough that jump on your artist, same thing with Chris Brown and LMA. When you have certain artists that jump on another a person's song, you're giving them the cosign. You're telling the world, "Hey, go check this artist out."
You think he made the Migos? I want to hear this.
As someone from Florida, I Migos is one of those people that I had already heard, especially because I went to school with Quavo's cousin. However, yes, Versace was a huge song for the Migos.
Versace was already huge before Drake got on the remix.
It was, but hearing Drake, someone as big as Drake, get on a Migos song, come on, man. I wouldn't say that it made the Migos. I think Bad and Bougie.
There's plenty of people that like. There's a whole heap of people that I always see. Like it's like, oh, if it wasn't for Drake,
but ask Quavo though. He won't say that he made the Migos, but the Migos and Quavo and Offset, they've been very, and even Takeoff before he passed was very, very clear about how they felt about Drake and him actually like.
which is wild. I don't know why Drake said that in that one that we got to talk about that later.
I heard him have like a mama in the back, and I think it was Quavo. But
He's
I
like,
don't.
all my ops are dead, and they always some he said, and but me and my friend were talking about that. I'm like, bro, that was a choice.
When he said mama, but he said all my.
That wasn't that I listen. Why would you say that?
But it was Quavo that did the ad lib, didn't he?
No, it was
That was Drake,
Takeoff.
or no? But I'm saying that was Quavo that did the ad lib on the song.
No, that was
Or
a
did he?
sample.
Or he actually sampled
They
Takeoff?
took they took the sample and flipped it and put it over a beat.
But I do think that Takeoff have a song that says all my ops are dead, all my ops are dead. Like I
I
think
don't know.
I would have to think because I used to listen to Takeoff's music, but I would have to. I don't know if it even
So
sounds like,
so,
but I
like,
think he has something like that, but I'll have to see. I
my
gotta do more
like, my
research.
thing is this, like, people always say, "Oh, Drake, if it wasn't" like, with Kendrick is the biggest example, like, "Oh, he had him on this tour." Bro, he was already getting motion, bro. He was al like, J. Cole was the one that told Dre, like, "Hey, we need to check this guy out." So,
Who,
like,
Dre?
you know what I'm saying? Like, J. Cole told Dre was the one that was like, "Hey, we need to" I think that's how the story goes, or something like that.
Yeah, and Drake also interned with Dr. Dre as well in his studio. So a lot of people don't know that as well as
I
this.
think I've heard that story, yeah.
Yeah. And then also too, Drake was writing for a lot of different
But
a
but
lot of
this
artists
but
at that
this
time.
but to straight up say, "Oh, he made this person?" Like, he wouldn't have been like, Kendrick would not have been the artist that he
I'm not
became?
saying he made that person. I'm saying
You That's what you
co-sign
said earlier, though.
and if I said that, then let me walk my words back because of my excitement. What I'm saying is their cosign is the reason why they're as big as they are now, where at this very moment. They could still be a big artist, but at this very moment, they wouldn't be as big as what they are right
Kendrick
now.
would have.
I don't know anything about Kendrick and co-signing Kendrick. I would never say that because Kendrick was already his own artist, and I think they honestly came up and they were just at like literally equal at all points. I think honestly until like the last 5 years is when Drake kind of started to eclipse numbers wise of Kendrick. But as far as where people view them equally, I think people keep them in their own place, and I think the moment you start to put them in the room together and compare them, that's the problem. It's the same
That's why
thing.
Drake got all in his feelings, though, too.
No, but it's the same thing with LeBron trying to be compared to Michael Jordan, and people were like, "Oh, Michael Jordan is better. Michael Jordan is better." Of course, LeBron's gonna get in his feelings, is because I'm gonna be like, "Yo, you're comparing me to the wrong person. I'm nothing like that man." I'm
But
saying
okay, but if that's the case, that's
because
fine, but
to be honest, Michael Jordan should be or LeBron James should be compared to Magic Johnson, not Michael Jordan. They're two different players.
oh, yeah,
So
yeah, for
so like
sure,
if you
yeah.
want to put Magic Johnson in the room with LeBron James and talk about who's better, I'm sure LeBron James would is even as competitive as he is, he would probably be incredibly grateful for the opportunity that he's able to be compared to someone he probably mimic his game behind. So, but like to put him in a room against someone that yes, he loved watching and growing up, but he didn't mimic his game behind, doesn't even play like, and people will always put him up against and say no, he's not better than. Yeah, that's when people start to kind of get in their feelings a little bit because I'm like,
That's not Kendrick's fault.
I no one said it was Kendrick's fault, but the thing about it is Kendrick didn't come out on a song with, or Drake didn't come out on a song with Kendrick's friends and diss him.
You talking about Control?
No,
That was after
I'm talking about
years
like
of
that.
that was after years of the shots back and forth because of the reason that you just said of Drake getting his
So
feelings.
that's my problem with Kendrick fans is that oh they can go back and forth for years, but then finally Kendrick stands up, and anything Drake does after that is just whack.
Nobody said that.
But Kendrick is like to or but Kendrick is allowed to essentially stand up and say something
What do you mean?
after sending shots back and forth for years. Kendrick is the only one that's allowed to finally like oh you know what I'm gonna jump on a song with his friends and diss him.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, I'm saying like only 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 Kendrick's allowed to do that.
Nah, no.
So that's what I'm saying. Kendrick has done Control, calling out everybody in the whole
Which
industry.
was not a diss.
It wasn't a diss, but it was him setting his place in society and
Which
also
not a diss.
calling people out by name.
If you look at the videos, the only rapper in the entire industry that got in his feelings about that verse was your boy.
It's
Put
because he has that cloth in him.
or Pusha T didn't get mad. Think about all the rappers that he mentioned, from Pusha T
Oh, because it
to
was his
Mac
friends.
Miller, Will Ortiz, Joe Budden, all the people that J. Cole, Big Crit.
All of those guys are not on the same level as
It
Drake,
don't
K. Cole, and
matter. It don't
Kendrick.
matter. J. Cole was.
We knew what Kendrick was doing with the song, but Drake coming back and sending shots is exactly what the game needed from it. We don't want to see other people be like, "Oh yeah, Kendrick, that was
It
a
was
cool song."
it was petty shots. What Kendrick was doing was trying to wake up the entire rap game. It wasn't
And that's what
about
he did. He woke up Drake, and Drake said, "Okay, you want to do this? Let's do this." Why does everybody get mad when Drake wants to actually put in
nobody's getting
work?
mad though.
No, not getting mad, but I'm saying, why is it a problem? Like when he does it, like why is it a
The
problem?
issue is Kendrick was waking up the entire industry. And like you said, yes, he responded.
That's what we
But
want.
yes, that is
That's
what.
he woke up. Hello, snooze. You know
Yes,
what I
he
mean?
woke up and he got his behind kicked, and then he wants to cry about it. That's the
That's
whole point.
so that's years later, but we're talking about right now in that moment. We're talking about with the control verse.
No,
Kendrick comes out, does a control verse. Nobody gets caught in their feelings except for Drake. Okay, cool. But that's the narrative of how it's looked at from Kendrick fans. But
that's
like,
everybody. That's not just
no, it's
Kendrick fan.
not.
That's literally everybody.
But if I'm waking up the rap game, I want everybody to come with that heat.
And Kendrick didn't. He didn't have a problem with that. He sent his shots back and forth.
So with that notion, then Rayvon is a crybaby. Then
Who? Rayvon?
Rayvon,
Rayvon? What do you mean? How would that be?
because he's the only one that's sensitive when someone gets called out, especially when it's not even about him.
Rayvon actually put it on wax though.
You see what I'm dealing with, guys?
You see what I'm dealing with?
Jesus, man.
Talking about like, bro, like.
So when Drake responds, it's him being caught in his feelings.
No, I'm not talking about the songs. I'm talking about what he said.
And what was it that he said?
He basically like got in his feelings and said like there was some harsh words and I'm like, harsh words? What do you mean? When you had other rappers, and if you want to put yourself in this battle rap
I don't know
arena,
exactly what he said about
look
the
up, look,
situation.
see,
And
this
I
is
don't
what I'm
even,
talking about.
and
This
I
is
don't
what
even know if the words actually match to exactly what he said.
he literally said those are harsh words. See, this is what I'm dealing with.
You know what's funny?
Y'all.
And you know what's funny? Because I can literally see Drake saying it and the way he said it. And that's that whole Michael Jordan, like, I took it personal type mentality. And that's what we want, bro. Like,
No,
that's the thing.
people don't like the fact that Michael Jordan did that. We clown Jordan for doing like making up fake beefs in his head.
Not me. That's if he needed that to drop 60, then go ahead, by all means. If you
Y'all
that,
see what I'm dealing with?
No,
I'm making arguments, and he's like, "Well, I don't know. I've never seen that." Like, bro, come on.
But this is the thing, though. Like, well, first of all, I haven't. I didn't know that's what you're talking about. I thought we were talking about the songs. But if we're talking about an actual quote of him saying that, for one, another thing about Drake, a lot of people don't like his personality and his sense of humor.
And what he was being dead serious.
But and I know what you're talking about, and I expect him to be dead serious. But it's like that's.
Y'all see what I'm dealing with?
That's kind of what we want. I want you to take something so light and make it serious and then go get on the track. And then diss each other.
Nobody else did, though.
Because they didn't wake up and take the bait. They didn't take the bait. He said, all right, I'll take the bait. Let's go.
And he's stupid for taking the bait.
Nah, I don't think he's stupid. I think that's exactly what hip hop is. If someone, that's like someone coming in here, because I've seen it plenty of times, especially being in the hood. That's like someone coming in here in the room. In the room, you funny. That's like someone walking in the room, and they say, all of y'all some bi whatever, and then someone comes up and be like, I know you ain't talking to me. I'm ready to go. Like, he didn't put a name to it, but that person wants you to put a name to it. Drake is kind of like that same energy. Like, I put a name to it.
He put a name to it.
He got offended by that. He got offended.
Why?
Because that's what hip hop is. It's a sport. It's competitive. This is one of the most athletic games there is. And when you lose, the season still starts again in a couple months. And in this sport, the retirement age is a lot further out, man. Like, you can keep going if you can keep going.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what hip hop is. You want certain people to say certain things, and everybody be like, "Oh man, that was fire, bro."
But that was
you know what it is? We in the Instagram era where people want other artists to go on another artist page and be like, "Yo, this was so fire, bro."
But yeah, you say your favorite beef was Jordan Lucas and Tory Lanez when that was literally friendly fire.
I just said that was my favorite as far as like what came of it due to the lyricism and the actual music.
But it was friendly fire.
And it wasn't really for real. It wasn't for real. This is a for real battle.
Kendrick wasn't being for real. He was just saying, "Hey, like,
Kendrick's not for real," but he's just decided to also throw shots at him mutually.
I'm talking about Control, specifically Control. He wasn't being for real. Like,
and Drake is not the only person that took anything out of that. Like, there was a lot of people. For one, Big Sean didn't appreciate Kendrick even overshining him on that song.
Big Sean didn't appreciate it because people kept asking him about it years later. That's why he didn't like it.
Yeah, but
they're cool.
I mean, I know, but most people are cool in the industry except for some people. But I really do think that Like, well, for one, I mean, if we go down and actually look it up, there was a lot more artists that kinda spoke up and
Nah,
also came at
I heard
and
all
said
the
something.
I've heard all those remixes and stuff. I heard the remix that Joe Budden did. I heard the remix that Meek Mill did and Big Crit and Pusha T. Like, bro, when they were filming the video for Nostalgia, Pusha T always tells a story about how Kendrick pulled him aside and was like, "Hey, I want to appreciate you for not like getting in your feelings because like that's literally what it
That's
is.
being petty.
That's not being petty. That's being
That's him,
realistic.
but that's the thing. Kendrick looked at it as like, "Oh, I'm mentioning all these names and I'm trying to pay homage to y'all, but at the same time, I'm here now, I'm trying to submit myself."
What's wrong with
Drake,
that?
there's nothing wrong with that. The simple fact that if I'm also a competitor, I'm also trying to do the same thing.
If that's
I
why,
don't want you to feel like you cemented here because I'm already cemented here.
then why? Okay,
That's the competitiveness
then why didn't
of it
Drake? Then
all.
why didn't Drake get on wax and say that then? If he feels like that.
Well, maybe he wanted to. Maybe he has been for the last 7 years. That's why you said that they continue to send shots at each other.
No, I'm talking about if you feel like if you say he maybe he felt like that how he felt. Why didn't he say that on the
Oh,
song?
that's a swing right there. You see that? That's pretty,
Right. Oh snap!
yeah,
Dangerous, but yeah,
I know. That's super
the
weird.
thing snaps. That's it.
We're watching a live screen on our TV
Yes.
screen. It's a
Sorry.
live screen.
Sorry, y'all.
My bad. It was pretty.
Anyway, squirrel.
I know. um,
Why didn't he? If she's like, yeah, well, maybe he felt like. Why didn't he say that then?
well, I mean, like I said, I've never seen the quote, but if anything, I'm thinking maybe it's because someone, back there in that day, like journalists are everywhere just asking artists anything. So
I don't know
maybe
that
they caught him at a time where they asked him the question and he used it as an opportunity to just be petty and
he
say that.
used it as he used and there was a couple of times where they
And he
asked him
literally, and
about it.
Drake is petty. Everybody knows that. He literally said that. He said I'm aware of
Oh
I'm
yeah,
aware
we
of
know
many
that.
things,
Yeah,
of all things. I'm the petty king. Like,
yeah, yeah. He's petty.
but he knows he's petty. But that's the thing. And some people know they're petty. That's the thing. If you listen, I listen enough to Drake's music to understand some of his family dynamic, his friend dynamic, certain relationships he's had, understand the relationships he had with Rihanna, SZA, other different women.
He
Also,
still hasn't let Rihanna go. But
yeah. I mean, shoot, I wouldn't let Rihanna go. I mean, she got $1 billion, dog.
I
But
mean, I'm just bro. Let it go. It's been since 2009, bro. Let it go.
yeah, I mean, and the thing about it too is just that like she was still, that's almost like Will Smith and Jada. It's like
But
she's still in love with another man that she just knew she couldn't have.
she also friend zoned him like multiple times, and he didn't get the hint.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing. I'm not about to judge the man's music based off of him getting friend zoned by a girl. Like,
I'm not.
I've been friend zoned by a girl. You've
But
been
it
friend zoned by a girl.
yes,
We
of
all
course we
have.
have all been.
Like, come on.
But it's like, bro, let it go.
Yeah, it's just.
Like, bro, in the 100, I think it was the
But
100
the thing,
gigs.
but that's the thing about Drake. Like, we can get on him for not letting it go, but that's the relatability, bro. You're telling me you've never been stuck on a woman for at least a little bit in your life?
20 years?
I don't care, bro. Like, I don't even think he's really stuck on her. I just think that he now uses it to poke fun at Rakim, and it's just like
Nah, he's dead. Like, bro, that in the 100 gigs and that all those videos he dropped, those behind the scenes videos, when he brought his mom into the studio and he played the song. This was like a couple of years ago.
this man has watched more Drake content than me.
I listen, listen,
He a secret stan.
nah, listen. It ain't my fault you ain't come with no prepared.
Nah,
I watch all this stuff.
Nah, man, I'm in school. I'm a neurology student.
I don't want to hear that. Like,
I
nah,
don't got
like,
time to be looking at everything.
I listen, bro.
And I bet me personally, guys, like, I'm more of like I'll watch the game and be able to comment on the game. I'll listen to the music and comment on music. As far as all the politics and semantics behind it all, I only know so much. I do not keep myself too aware with the politics of
I
everything.
try not to get into things, but I just I watch and I see certain things and
Court cases, I'll read those. Yeah,
like
I'll definitely. Yeah,
I'll definitely like watch certain things and look and see what's going on because like I don't hate like listen I don't hate Drake guys. I know it may sing like it, but I don't. Don't do it. Just don't.
because I can be clear with Kendrick, and I know when I'm not wrong. And the thing about it is, and I want to make it known, I'm not I don't hate Kendrick. I actually really like Kendrick.
Yeah,
Um,
I really like Drake.
and the thing about it, and Trev does like Drake, guys. I'd be messing around, but he was just as excited about the drop last night. We both listened to it.
I have certain issues with
Yeah,
the behind the scenes, unfortunately, because what happens behind the scenes unfortunately spills over into the into what we like. You think I want to come out here and talk about all the stuff that happened like behind the scenes with these rappers? Like, bro, like I don't care. These
That's why we just talk
millionaires,
about just the music, man,
but it's kind of hard to.
and I understand that the music more in hip hop refers more to the behind the scenes, but I think sometimes when you get too caught up in people's personal life, it takes you away from just the music itself and the cleverness of the creation. And that's honestly, me personally, I'm a very philosophical and analytical thinker. I do not think in black and white.
Oh yeah,
Trev is more of a black and white guy, which is fine. I don't think that's actually wrong at all. I think, for people like that, they kind of just know what they like and they know what they don't like. People like me, we struggle with that because we just think of things a little too much.
he's definitely the devil's advocate
Yeah.
in
Oh yeah, yeah.
friendship.
I will. Oh no, for sure. And
He will
I play
devil's
devil's
advocate you
advocate
to
with
death.
myself. I play it with my girlfriend all the time. People don't like it. Sometimes if I know, like I'm the person in the room. If everyone says yes, I'll make an answer for no, just to
He'll
make.
make an entire like soliloquy argument about
Yeah,
like, well, maybe this.
and it's honestly just to make sure that we're making the right decision. That's all it is.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
You're gonna need situations where
yeah. You need someone to kind
you
of.
need both.
And
'Cause
if you ever, like, understand business, there's that one guy that sits at the table, he's called a risk officer or a risk manager or financial risk manager, and essentially, he's the guy that's just telling you that everything that you're about to do is crashing and everything's about to fall apart.
yes.
And he's the guy that you kinda wanna hear from, but you're tired of hearing from.
It's
It's
like,
because he's
get out of here.
yeah, it's like, "Okay, thank you, we appreciate it, we needed to hear that, now can you
Get out my
please"
face.
yeah, just can you know what I mean? So, I'm kinda like that guy, like yeah, Imma argue to the death, and me and Trev said this the other day, we will argue Kendrick and Drake to our deathbeds. We
Yeah, I'm very much a, like, black and white, like, listen, I don't mind playing devil's advocate sometimes because but certain things, there are certain situations where I feel like personally, it just is what it is.
yeah,
Like, there's no, like, argument, there's no, like, this it happened, and I don't judge anybody any more or any less for that.
mhm,
Bro, these people are millionaires, these people don't know we
yeah.
exist.
They don't
But,
know we're sitting in our living room talking about this.
right, but, unfortunately, you have to discuss these things because they spill over into what we listen to.
They do, it's our influence, it controls and impacts the culture and, how we live our lives. I mean, as much as you don't wanna to admit that, the things that you guys consume every day and affects how you live your life. It affects your motivation and the things that inspire, influence you,
Yeah.
and it also, reflects how you treat people, how you react to things, how you respond in certain ways. And so, when we're talking about, literally for the better part of the last 3 to 5 years of our culture, so to speak, dying and being saturated with terrible music, there's really only a few people to argue and debate about. And so, as much as people have a problem with Drake, or maybe people have a problem here and there with what Kendrick does, they really are two of the probably few that continue to contribute to the better part of our culture and the reason why our culture is somewhat intact somehow. But in that very same sentence, they all also do contribute to the agony and the painful death that hip hop is now suffering right now. And that's why we need more artists in our game, man. We need more people like Norman Sam, Osmond Benjamin, Christopher Rivers,
Conway the Machine.
Conway the Machine, Reasons, Cause,
We need more guys like NF and Justin Freeman,
Marlon Craft,
Marlon Craft.
Coast Contra.
Oh yeah, Coast Contra. We need more people like Earl Sweatshirt, Prime Earl Sweatshirt.
Yeah, man. And I want to see other people in our genre that have been in it for a long time continue to grow and continue to take hold of the game. Like Tyler Creator, I thought you dropped a great project. And for me personally, I've been watching him for a long time, especially even when he was on what was it, MTV, or when he was with Mac Miller's crew,
Oh yeah,
anything like that.
Lord of Squad.
So it's like I already knew he kind of was talented, but we're now starting to see like, okay, if you actually just take your time with it, we actually can get some really good stuff from you.
Yeah.
So, and I want to see him kind of take over a little bit more. I want to see JID kind of get more flowers. Not kind of, I do.
Oh yeah.
I want to see Coast Contra break in. It would be nice if they gave him a table at the BET Awards this year. I doubt it because BET continues to let us down, but
BET, yeah, if you're looking for BET to do anything
mhm.
culture wise,
And the thing about it this year, I actually was thinking about possibly watching it just for the simple fact that Drewski's, hosting it, and the thing about Drewski's comedy, I have to designate a segment to Drewski one of these episodes is because,
you can't hate on Drewski.
dude,
You
Drewski
can't.
has brought back real authentic
Comedy,
comedy,
dude.
and I didn't think it was possible that someone that it's not skit comedy anymore, it's long-term content as they call it, which I think is a great name because there's still skits I'm watching from, like, 2010 that still make me laugh that come up on my algorithm.
Desi Banks.
Yeah, so Desi Banks as well. There's a lot of different people, Trey Rags, I think is yeah.
Trey Rags, one of the top 5 funniest dudes on the
Yeah,
internet. I
bro.
don't care what nobody
RDC
says.
World.
RDC, of course, the
Yeah, like
OGs.
but I just think that, Drewski out of all of those individuals and there's so much more. There's so many other people.
King Batch, obviously, he's
King
the
Batch is
OG.
the OG that actually, to me personally,
Started the
made it
whole
to
Vine.
TiVo. Yeah, he made it to TV, and he's now acting. He does comedy sets. So there's a lot of people we can go listen on and on. And
Who's the
honestly,
dude that used to
we just named more men. There's a lot of females.
who's the dude that used to date,
B Simone.
not her, who's the dude that used to date, um, Just Hilarious? What's his name?
I forgot. I know what you're talking about. I don't even think I really knew his name for real, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy. He used to date Just
But
Hilarious.
yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, what was I gonna say? Oh, Drewski. I'm sorry, guys. Kind of lost my train of thought for a sec. Yeah, really, really excited to see him kind of host the BET Awards is because for someone like him, man, it's like I didn't think that someone with long-term content could get so far doing what he's doing. And the comedy that he's doing is just a little different. It's almost like you can tell he's grown up through the Dave Chappelle, Key and Peele era.
Yes.
And now he's kind of bringing that to what he's doing in his own way. And, he has his own way of acting. And I really enjoy it because it's his character, it's his personality, just heightened with emotion in a comedic way, with comedic timing for whatever scene he's doing. Dude, I mean, I don't want to talk about too much just so we don't get in a political conundrum here. But he has a few out there that are really, really good that have made it controversy, and that's when
Yeah.
comedy's good again. When your comedy becomes controversial and it actually brings out conversations in people.
The one that he did about Charlie Kirk's wife. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I didn't wanna talk about that one too much.
Yeah, but it was I watched it, it was hilarious.
Yeah, that one, you had the one with the church, uh, and
What
then you just had like, honestly, if you watched the BET commercial, rollout, I thought that was really great.
bro, when he came through with the when he was, like, suspended in midair, he was, like, flying through the air.
Red bottoms.
Right, because it's so
Bro,
accurate.
it
It's
it is
so
it's fairly
accurate,
accurate,
bro.
and then all of a sudden, when they come and ask for money at the car, you're like, "Get away from us."
Yeah, get away from him.
Yeah,
And then the new one here about the British actors playing, like, black
bro.
that oh my god.
The Des Idris one?
The dancing Idris, oh my
Yeah,
god, dude.
that was really, really good, and the thing about it is, man, he's bringing back real comedy, so we'll definitely designate it a segment, later on, and then next week, we'll come back and complete the series. We have a series going on, and we didn't really announce it as a series, but the last few episodes, we've kind of been talking more on some deeper topics as far as like generational norms and as well as social media and its impact on mental health and society as whole. And we have a couple more, segments to kind of discuss that. And also, you may hear us briefly once again kind of touch on the album next week, is because we'll have a week to have settled with it. We'll see if any of our scores have changed. As of right now, mine says a firm. I'll give it 8.5, and I was at a 7.9 to 8.5, but I'll give a strong 8.5 due to the irresponsible scoring from this man to my left. But
You just wanna be different, that's all.
yeah,
That's all it is.
but yeah, I mean Trev, I think he said we have a 6.5. And I have an 8.5, so we're 2 points away from each other. We'll see if that changes next week.
It's not gonna change.
Um, but yeah, guys, we just want to kind of drop our first little live reaction. Let us know in the comments on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whether if you like this setting or not, and we'll see if we're able to do this in our schedule. Um, And then also too, like, give us any ideas with how you want us to kind of fix maybe our lighting, maybe fix our audio.
Yeah.
If you have any topics that you guys want us to talk about, please go ahead and send it in the DMs to both of our pages. We would love to kind of make you guys more of the focal point in our conversations. Because as of right now, like you guys know, we use this to kind of just chop it up as boys and kind of rekindle our friendship, as we've known each other for quite a long time, as we've talked about many times before. So now that we've kind of at now like 16, 17 episodes, I believe this is episode 15 to 16.
16, yeah.
16. Next week will be episode 17. Definitely want to include you guys more going forward. So please, drop a like, a comment. If you can please share and subscribe, we definitely appreciate it. But this was another one. Trey, you want to send us out?
Yes, sir, man. Like you said, man, please don't forget, like and share, subscribe. We got some good things coming, man. We got some really good topics coming up. We're gonna get back in the music tip, sports tip too,
Hmm.
talking about the draft and talking about the NBA playoffs.
We do got Jonathan coming back. He
Yeah,
reached out.
we do have them in the waiting in the wings. Training camp did just start. We got to talk about Trevor Lawrence cutting his hair. I almost cried.
No more sunshine.
No more sunshine. So there's a lot of things that we gotta get into, and also too, we understand that the playoffs are going on right now, but I want to kind of get into that when we get into the conference finals,
Yeah.
going into the finals, so we kind of know who's who and what's what. We'll definitely talk about that. Um, some more, like I said, more music topics, not just the album, but like some other things that I wanted to ask and kind of get some feedback on, and also finish what we did in part one of episode 15. So, guys, yeah, that's what we got cooking for y'all. So, like I said, please like, share, and subscribe to all your people, man. That's another one in the books, y'all. Peace.
Peace. Deserve.